there he is. The women are going crazy. There's shirts coming up, all this. It's Jorge Bonilla, the best looking security advisor, security guy, expert in the country, probably. Jorge, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Rick and Dave. Thank you for having me again. I'm still in shock about that whole cocaine with the onion ring thing. I don't know that I'm ever going to eat onion rings again.
You know what? You just don't. They're fine just the way they are. I mean, they're dipped in tons of grease.
It's a different kind of sauce,
and we don't need anything else laced with those things for sure.
No, exactly. Why mess with a recipe?
You're absolutely right on that. So big fan of that. Hey, Jorge, but couple things before we get into Haiti is. So I was watching the news last night, and they had Sheriff Lamb on there, America's Sheriff, right? He's America's Sheriff from one of the TV programs.
Reality show.
Yes. So the guy, Jorge Bonilla. How do we get Sheriff Lamb on this show to talk a little safety?
Mark is he's pretty easy to get to. I have a direct connect with him, and I'll try to see if he's available or he has some type of like a link that you can go in and try to get him. But I'll do my best.
Tell him we want the free version too. We're not looking to pay for any time. We want the free version.
Yeah, we're not looking for that dollars and cents. Not the big bucks you're bringing down.
All right. So Jorge, here we go. We're back to Haiti again. We still have 16 Americans and a Canadian, including one child still being held hostage over in Haiti. Any new news on that?
The biggest thing right now is that there's some type of legislation going on in Ohio for them to be able to have the leverage to negotiate directly with individuals over there. If in other words, if the federal government does not want to negotiate, because obviously they do not negotiate with terrorists or do not negotiate with criminal organizations in this way. They're going to do it themselves, and whatever it is, whatever that entails, is what's going to go forward with the state of Ohio, as they should. I mean, they have to look out for their own. Canada is obviously very, they're just worried, very worried about the whole situation over there with the one individual, and so they're working together to try to get everybody back.
Yeah, so it's been it's almost been 30 days to the day. It was back a month ago on the 16th when they were last seen, the Americans and the Canadian through that ministry there at a orphanage in which they were kidnapped right there. Jorge, I'm just going to kind of stick to this same subject, and I know it's not the United States' position to ever, but when do we just not get them? I'm just telling you, if I'm being held hostage, unless I have onion rings that they're feeding me all the time, I'm saying come get me. I don't care what happens because I'm probably not living a great life where I'm being held hostage. When do we just go get them, or is that just something that we don't do?
Well, yeah, what we understand is that obviously, $17 million is a lot of money, $1 million per person. It's absurd. So the negotiation right now is trying to bring that particular number down. But also at the same time negotiate to maintain these individuals healthy, fed, hydrated, and everything. But at the same time, they're going to stand their ground. They understand that they have leverage, that they have individuals that are cared for here in the States and Canada, and they understand what they have, and they're gonna probably push the envelope to the limit until they can't no more, and then they'll be a little bit more open to the situation.
What are we doing? What are we doing as Americans or outside individuals trying to help bolster the security forces there inside this country, this sovereign power? Because it's a fine line about what you can and can't do with a sovereign power. But what are we doing? And do you know of anything that we're doing short term or long term to help the security forces in that region that seem to be overwhelmed with what's going on?
It's funny you should ask that, Dave, because I just got word recently that there is an interest to bolster the security forces in Haiti. Obviously, it's an uphill battle to try to get all individuals on board and for all individuals to fight for their country, to fight for the security of the nation. However, there is a need. There's a demand, obviously, and then there's interest. I don't know if the interest is from the government. I would have to assume yes, but I also tend to think that it's outside sources that are probably pushing for this and perhaps submitting or putting in the money or the funds to be able to train these individuals. There's a bunch of companies here in the States that can do that. And they want to do that. They want to be part of the problem, or not the problem. I'm sorry. They don't want to be part of the problem. They want to be part of the solution. And so we'll see. I think it's more to follow on that. I'll give you guys an update on that as soon as I have one.
Has any word on and usually in some of these instances we utilize the United Nations in a multinational facet so that no one country seems to be the culprit, right? We go under the UN flag or the UN steps forward. Any word of the UN maybe being part of this security bolstering or stepping in because of the humanitarian problem going on right now in this country?
That is a very good theory, and we expect for the UN to be involved in the security bolstering process in Haiti. I think that they've been crying out loud for years about this situation. And now that the situation has gone off hand, and it was off the handle for such a long time, now because of the kidnapping and because of the pretty much a lawless country in Haiti taking over and demanding things and doing things, like shutting down the gas in Haiti to make the demands noticed. Those are things that now it's like, okay, I think it's time to rally and do something about this. The UN, I'm not sure, but the UN may be involved in that. They should be.
Gotcha. And to kind of back up what you all are talking about, if you're new, if you haven't really listened or followed this before, is that this gang was the 400 Mawazo, and it's led by Joseph Wilson, Wilson Joseph. And here's what his quote is. And we all have quotes, but here's what he's known for saying: death doesn't know which day it's coming. That's who we're dealing with right there. Death doesn't know which day is coming. Just 5 days ago, this same place in Haiti, a bus carrying 52 people held hostage, killed a police officer. They later, after a night, let these people go. The demand from this gang, which is the G9 gang, this is from Jimmy Barbecue, okay? This is his name, Jimmy Barbecue, the former police officer, chief, blocking the fuel and demanding money and the resignation of the now Prime Minister, Henry, and it's making a lasting effect on this country. You have the hospitals unable to do full operations going on right now because of the fuel crisis going on. You have schools and businesses and a lot of places working like 2 or 3 days now because there is no fuel. These folks here are controlling it all.
Yeah, it's crippling the economy, and it is kind of this horrible cycle that goes on when these criminal organizations take hold and cripple the way business is done just so that they can extort money. And it's concerning. And from the outside looking in, we all wonder how this can happen. But this happens a lot, right? In not a lot, but it can happen pretty regularly in a country in which does not have a stable government, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. A lawless country such as Haiti, as is going right now, they have nothing to lose. Criminal organizations, they know, as I said before, they know how to leverage what they have and how to cripple the economy. They're doing that just now. They're just giving you bits and pieces of what they can do and what they're going to continue to do, especially as the criminal organizations continue to meld together as one. And take over the entire nation. They've already done that. They've already shown us that they can do that. A lot of the times, they know, excuse me, they know that there's outside interest. There's people outside, in the United States and Canada, wherever, all over the world, who have a vested interest in Haiti, and they have a vested interest for Haiti to thrive in the very near future. And when there's a lot of emphasis on that, And the criminal organizations know that they're gonna take advantage of that, and they're gonna say, well, if you have a vested interest in our country, then put up or shut up. Basically, give us some money, and that's that's why the negotiations have I believe the negotiations have stopped. Basically, they haven't gone anywhere.
Producer.
So we have a question here. So with the recent vacuum of power being seen in Haiti due to the assassination of their prime minister, do you see these two gangs turning on each other for a fight for power, or do you think they will work together to fill that vacuum?
There's a very good possibility that that'll happen. I mean, there's a push to join, to become a like a one man gang and have a one leader, but there's a bunch of alpha males there trying to run their own things, but their own criminal organizations. But at the same time, if the other organization becomes bigger and bigger, like the G9, and the other ones want to stay behind, this is going to be that conflict. It's going to be that conflict because stepping in the boundaries or whatever else. It's just like here in the States. That you hear about the criminal organizations or the gangs here, how they fight each other for territory. It's the same thing that's going to happen over there. It's happening over there right now.
And we hear from the State Department how important it is for the Americans to depart, and we all and most of Americans we go, how come you're not leaving? But explain, Sergeant Major, exactly how difficult it is sometimes when people become integrated into a society, even though they're Americans. They have homes, they have family, right? They have families there, and they have a way of life there, and then we're asking them to leave because it's not safe. I mean, just explain what's going on when the State Department says, hey, everybody needs to get out.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with a good friend of mine who went to Haiti 3 years ago, and I tell him he was born in Haiti, raised here, but he has obviously like a vested interest in the country. He has family there, he has property there, he has business there. He wants all that to thrive, and so he goes over there not only to look out for his business and for his family and whatever else, but at the same time, he understands that there's a threat, criminal organizations that may take him, kidnap him, for ransom. But he has to go. He speaks the language. He speaks the language like them, and he feels like he can integrate and just pass without being noticed, basically living in plain sight. I'm sad for him because he feels that he has to be a part of this growth and the thrive in the country, but at the same time he knows he's in danger.
Our prayers continue to go out to those to the Americans and to that Canadian that are being held hostage right now. Prayer is a powerful thing. Continue to pray for them. That's the same thing that they're asking for out of Ohio right now, are prayers from all of us to, really for the hearts of those that are holding them hostage, to give them that ability to release them and set them free. Continue to pray for them. Mr. Bonilla, I want to thank you for being part of BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Hey, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your insight, and thank you for your willing participation in this show.
Thank you, Rick, and Dave. I'll get back to you on Sheriff Lamb, and I hope to see you guys soon.